Welcome to the explainer. You know that feeling, right? You spot this gorgeous bird way off in the distance, but poof, it's gone before you can really see it. Well, today we're going to focus in on the tools that make sure that never happens again. We're talking birdwatching optics.
So let's just dive right into the core question. Binoculars or a scope? It's the big debate. By the time we're done here, you're going to have a really clear idea of what you need for your own birdwatching adventures.
Okay, first things first. Why are we even talking about this? Why does this gear matter so much? Let's get into what makes these tools so essential.
Here's the basic problem we're all trying to solve, isn't it? Birds are tiny, they're far away, and they're super fast. And, they're not exactly waiting around for us to get a good look. You take a few steps too close, and they're just gone.
And this is where the magic happens. Optical tools, they literally bring the birds to you. Suddenly you're seeing the subtle shimmer on a feather, the exact pattern on a wing, how it acts, how it moves, things you would just never see otherwise. It's the difference between just seeing a bird and actually observing it.
All right, let's start with the one tool that every single birdwatcher needs. I'm talking about your essential partner in the field, a good pair of binoculars. Okay, so you pick up a pair of binoculars and you see these numbers, right? 8 by 42, 10 by 50. What in the world does that mean? It looks kind of complicated, but trust me, it's super simple and tells you everything you really need to know.
So that first number, that's your power. That's magnification. If it says 8x, it means that bird is going to look 8 times closer than it does with just your eyes. Now for birding, the sweet spot is usually somewhere between 7 and 10x. Go much higher, and it's just too hard to keep the image from shaking all over the place.
And the second number? That's all about brightness. Think of it like a window. The bigger that number, the bigger the front lenses are, and the more light they can gather. And why does that matter? Well, because a brighter image is a clearer image, and that's absolutely critical in the early morning or late evening when birds are at their busiest.
So here's the thing you have to understand. It's all a trade-off. What you gain in one area, you lose in another. Yeah, a higher magnification like 10x is awesome for detail, but your view is going to be narrower, which makes it harder to find the bird in the first place. Plus, every tiny shake of your hand gets magnified. Lower power, like an 8x, gives you a wider view, it's way more stable, and it's just easier to use. Honestly, for most people, 8x is kind of the perfect all-round.
Now, beyond those two big numbers, there's some other stuff to look out for. Good lens coatings are a huge deal. They make everything look brighter and sharper. And waterproofing? Oh yeah, that's not a luxury, it's a must-have. You'll thank yourself after the first time you get caught in the rain. And most binoculars you'll see for birding use, what are called roof prisms. All that really means is they're built to be slimmer and more portable.
Okay, so binoculars are your workhorse, but what about when you really need to power up? For those birds that are just way out there. Well, that's when you bring out the big gun, the field scope. A field scope is basically a small, rugged telescope made for watching wildlife. This isn't for tracking a warbler flitting through the bushes. This is for when a bird is stationary and far away. Think about shorebirds on a mudflat, or a hawk sitting on a cliff a mile away. That's scope territory.
And the power, oh man, the power is on a completely different level. We're not talking 8 or 10 times closer, we're talking 30, 40, even 60 times closer. It's a massive jump. You can see the color of a duck's eye from across a lake. It's incredible.
But this brings us to the #1 non-negotiable golden rule of using a scope. You have to use a tripod. With this much magnification, there is no way you can hold it steady with just your hands. A solid tripod isn't just a nice accessory, it's absolutely essential.
So when you're looking at scopes, you're going to see two main designs. The straight body is kind of like pointing a telescope. It can feel a little more intuitive to aim at first. But for pretty much everyone, the angled body is the way to go. It's just way more comfortable, especially if you're looking up at a bird in a tree, and it's so much easier for people of different heights to share. It's just the more versatile option all around.
All right, so we've got binoculars, our all-around champion, and we've got the field scope, our long-distance specialist. So, where do you start? What's the right path for you?
You know what? The answer is actually really simple. Everybody starts with binoculars. I don't care if you're a total beginner or a pro, binoculars are your #1 tool. They are what you will use 90% of the time. You only need to think about getting a scope later on, once you find yourself constantly saying, I just wish I could see that bird a little bit closer.
And really, it's not about one versus the other. You have to think of them as a team. They work together. You use your binoculars, with their nice wide field of view, to scan an area and find the bird.
Then, once you've located it, and if it's sitting still and far away, you switch over to the scope to really zoom in and study every last detail.
Okay, before you run out and spend your hard-earned money, let's just cover a few final practical tips to help you make the best choice.
First up, budget. Look, the super cheap, bargain bin stuff is usually just going to frustrate you. But you also don't need to spend thousands of dollars to get started. Find a good middle ground. And hey, don't sleep on used gear. You can get some fantastic deals. Also, think about little accessories. A simple adapter that lets you clip your phone onto your scope or binoculars. It's a total game changer for taking pictures and sharing what you see.
But here's the real bottom line. After you've read all the reviews and all the specs, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats just trying them out for yourself. If you can, go to a store, hold them in your hands, put them up to your eyes. The best binoculars or scope in the world are the ones that feel right to you, and the ones that make you want to get outside, because that's what this is all about.